Yo Namaha Om Samastajana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidwaram Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. So in the Ramayana Sumiran, what do we see? First, let's analyze what Ramayana Sumiran means. As a matter of fact, Tulsidas ji himself says that before we get into any sort of Ram's Katha, we must look at the Sumiran. Ramayana is what? Rama Ayana. Ram means Sri Ram or Parama Atma. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Ayar means a home or abode. It also means Charit. So hence we have Ram Charit Manas. Rama again is the Parama Atma. Charit means the plays of this Atma. And how does this Parama Atma play in our life? Through the body, mind and intellect. Isn't that true? But what kind of body, mind and intellect? The Sthita Prajna, or the one who abides in wisdom. You see? So Ram Charit, the one who plays through the manas of the Sthita Prajna. And as we've been seeing throughout the couple of nights that we've been reading, the one who is the most dhira, or the one who is the most sthita, is who? Shri Ram, and who else? Om Namah Shivaya. That great compassionate Karapura Gauram Karunavataram, the one who is the ocean of compassion, who shows us the way, who is the kindest to us no matter how rough the times get. To this Paramatma in the form of Shiva, we bow again and again. So Ram Charit Manas, where is this entire play taking place? Can you tell me? In the mind of Shiva. As a matter of fact, who is telling who the story of Ramayana? Shiva tells Parvati the whole thing. He is the narrator. And from there comes Kakvashundi and Ganda, Yagnavalka and Bharadwaj Rishi, Tulsidas ji and us. You see? So 4 sets of conversations are going on simultaneously. It's a little less confusing than Bhagavatam and Mahabharata, where all the stories are intertwined and this one speaking to this one, we don't know. Tulsidas ji's Ramayana is the most simplest. That's why I love it. It has no complications. It is very straightforward. As a matter of fact, you can actually take this text and read it yourself. It is that easy. So in the Ramayana Sumiran, we see the play of Paramatma. Then Sumiran means what? Smaran, which means to remember. Who are we remembering? We remember Saraswati, because she gives us the ability to see the Varnas, to see the Chandas and so on, to understand what this Ramayana says. Then also Lord Ganesha, who removes all the obstacles and impediments from our way in the form of correct, intelligent decision making. Isn't that true? And then we see here, as we saw last night, the glories of Guru. Isn't that true? In the same Ramayana Sumiran, we saw Bandava Guru Pada Paduma Parara. Bandava Guru Pada Ganja. This means the lotus-like knowledge of the support of the feet of Guru. Kripa Sindhu, he is the ocean of compassion. Mahamoha destroys delusion in our life. Bachana Ravikara Nikara. From his words, what happens? The dawn of knowledge comes into our life. Prakashate, isn't that true? And then we see here also in the Ramayana Sumiran, if at all we needed miracles in our life, and at sometimes in our life we need miracles, isn't that true? When times are going rough, when we don't believe in ourselves, and we look to a higher power for help. Ramayana Sumiran actually what? Makes the point crystal clear that miracles are possible. If you look at the second sota, the second one, you see, Mooka hoi vachal. Mook means that person who cannot speak. What are some of the miracles of God if you were to ask? Here we go. Tulsidas ji pens it beautifully. Mooka hoi vachal. That person who seemingly cannot speak. The person who has some apparatus, the vocal apparatus is damaged. Mooka hoi vachal. That person becomes vachal. He becomes eloquent in speech by the miracle of God. All we have to have is what?
Faith.
Faith, not what? Doubts or belief, right? So we have doubts first. People doubt the existence of God. They come into satsang and then they start having what? Vishwas. But we know Vishwas isn't enough, right? Not enough. The thing that we have to cultivate is what? Shraddha, or implicit faith. Remember I said, I believe this is made of canvas. I believe. What does that imply? A tinge of doubt. But if I say I have Shraddha, I have faith and trust this is made of canvas, is there any doubt in that?
No.
Absolutely not. You see? Mukha hoi vachal, pangu charai girivar gahana. Now, what is another miracle? Tulsidashi writes here. That person who's pangu, who doesn't have his limbs in full efficiency, who's handicapped, pangu charai girivar gahana. That person climbs the highest of mountains by the grace of Bhagavan. You see the miracles? Then we have Jasu Kripa So Dayal. And how does this happen, you may ask? Jasu Kripa So Dayal, because he is all compassionate, willing to help the entire world. You see, if we go 10% of the way to Bhagavan, just walk 10% his way, guess what happens to you? 90% of the way he's willing to come towards you. If only Shraddha is present. Whose kripa is that of compassion. Dravahu sakala kalimala gahana. And this is the greatest miracle. When that Lord gives us the ability to battle the trials and tribulations in our life of what? Kali Yuga. Remember, there are 4 ages in human existence, right? Satyug, what is the second one? Treta, third, Dwapar, fourth Kali Yuga. Isn't that true? This is supposed to be the worst of the ages. We have all the technology in the world, lights galore, but still, guess what is the darkest? Not you, people in New York. Mind. The mind is very, very dark. And when the mind is dark, we walk around with sad face, we walk around depressed, we walk around anxious about things in life. What does Tulsidas present to us? Dravo sakala kalimala dahana. If we have that faith in God, guess what happens? That Bhagavan takes away all the what? Kalimala. That means all the dirt of Kali Yuga is washed away with what? The tattva of Guru. That is the greatest miracle of life. So to that Guru again, we bow in salutations again and again. Okay? Let's see. Bahuri Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram सती की है सीता करवेशा, सती की है सीता करवेशा, शिव उर भैरव विषाद विशेषा, शिव उर भैरव विषाद विशेषा, सती की है सीता करवेशा, सती की है सीता करवेशा, शिव उर भैरव विषाद विशेषा, शिव उर भैरव विषाद विशेषा, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। everyone. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. जो अब करूं सती सन प्रीति, जो अब करूं सती सन प्रीति, नितई भगति पठु होयनीति, नितई भगति पठु होयनीति, श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram. Bole Shri Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Bahuri Ramamaya hi Sirunava. When Lord Shiva was deceived by Sati, and again, Sati is no bad person, she's showing us how not to be, right? As we see, for those of you who are new today, any great parent, what does he do? Or she? She shows the child how to live. And sometimes they do it adversely. You know, without expectation, they must show us sometimes what not to do. Isn't that true? So, Sati did what? She told Allah. Isn't that true? To Lord Shiva. Bahuri Ramamayahi Sirunava, but instead of getting upset, the cool-headed Lord Shiva, isn't that true? We know him to live in Kailash, the coolest place on earth. But that is lakshana for what? A non-agitated mind. You see? We must always remain cool in all situations. But what ensures that we are the coolest we can be? Can you tell me? Relying on a higher power for support. This is the thing that we don't do in life, most of us, especially young people. When things go wrong, they think, okay, I did wrong, and there's no end to that. You see? When something goes wrong, we must use something called the STOP methodology. For those of you who have pens and papers, write this down. STOP methodology, and you can share this with the youngsters if you come across them. S-T-O-P. Whenever we're faced with a problem, we must not get down on ourselves. We must not contemplate suicide. We must not contemplate anything of that nature. Number one, realize tomorrow is another day. The past is dead. Do your best today. And in the present moment, how do you analyze your problems? How do you get past them? What is the methodology that Lord Shiva teaches us? S-T-O-P. S means analyze how serious the problem is in the first place. This is something we don't do. My toast is burnt in the morning and my whole day is upset. Hasn't this ever happened to you? Her mother comes home and she has every right to be upset when the sink is full of dishes. That's fine. Okay, let's not even go there. But look at the things that we get upset about, and what happens to us? We end up destroying ourselves and every single person around us in the process. And then we beat our heads in regret when the time comes. Why? Because we have to give an apology. Isn't that right? Mm-hmm. Stop means analyze. S, how serious that problem is. Yeah? Then we have T. Think about how you got yourself there in the first place. This is the thing we don't want to do. You know, when we have problems, we point like this. Isn't that true? You're at fault. Isn't that right? And then we point upwards. You, Bhagavan, you're at fault. As a matter of fact, Ravan did that. Isn't that true? Mm-hmm. He didn't like Sri Ram at all. As a matter of fact, blamed him for all his worries. But what was the cause of all his worries? Do you remember? And what is the cause of all our worries? A non-integrated mind. And again, what does non-integration? This whole theme of this talk, to connect each other, is integration of the mind. If you remember anything from this whole talk, remember that a mind coupled with intellect will never be led astray by the senses, which take us into negative objects, negative emotions, and negative thoughts. This is what you call yukta, or an integrated personality. People like Ravan, people like Kamsa, these people allowed their thoughts to get the best of them, to let them run away into areas of anxiety and depression. You see? So, when we think about how we got there in the first place, we tend not to blame a higher power, number one, and we tend not to blame who? The people around us. You see, when we point, what happens? One finger is pointing that way, 3 fingers point towards you, alright? And 1 finger points up to God. This is how we blame. But look at the ratio. You have 3 pointing towards you and 1 pointing to that person. So what does this mean? That you are the one who got yourself there in the first place. Isn't that true? Mm-hmm. We blame that person. We blame this situation. We blame this place for not being conducive for my happiness. You have made me sorrowful. What does that mean? Mm-hmm. I allowed you to make me sorrowful. Why? Because of my ayukta buddhi. And if you learn any chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 66. Nasti buddhi ayuktasya. That's all you need to know. When there is no yukta or no integration of these two, there cannot be any buddhi or any true reasoning in your life. This is practical Vedanta. It doesn't get more practical than this. You make the right choice today, tomorrow is guaranteed. You make the wrong choice today, tomorrow will not be guaranteed to be as pleasant as you want it. And again, what do we all want to be in life? Peaceful. The amoeba wants to be happy. The ape wants to be happy. The bird in the sky catches that worm because he wants to be happy. We go through all kinds of trouble because we want to be happy. And then we reach the top and realize there's no happiness there. Right? This is the way we are in life. What we have to be is complete within ourselves first. Understand that if you are complete first, if there's no void within you, wealth will not give you any satisfaction. I can tell you, and people who have reached the top in corporate America, they will tell you that, and you can tell yourself that. There is always something missing in life. And what is that missing factor? It is Paramatma shining forth through the body, mind, and intellect. But what happens? We have Mala in front of that Paramatma, not only Panchakosha, but we have 6 forms of Mala. Do you remember them? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. And all of the situations that we get into, my dear brothers and sisters, what do? They take us into these modes of sorrow. There's no such thing as an enemy outside. The enemies are within. And what are they? Lust, anger, greed, attachment, false pride, and jealousy. These are the 6 things that bring us down in life. So to point your fingers to another person, that is not the key. Even if that person is Ravan himself, he who's in front of you, you don't blame him. Who do you blame for getting upset? Yes. Who do you blame for getting depressed? Who do you blame? Your own individual self. Who are we blaming? Are we blaming big I? No, this is big I, okay? Small I has to be blamed. The small I is the individual ego. And when we have that ego, when we have those 6 enemies in our life, when we're affected, guess what happens to the picture? We edge God out. EGO, edging God out. Why? Because there's no room for him anymore in our life. Our life is consumed like a fire with lust, anger, greed, attachment, false pride, and jealousy. So think about how you got there. One of these Shat Ripu, or the 6 enemies of existence, would have prompted you into that. Okay? So ST, now what about O? When I'm in a problem, I analyze how serious, I think about, how I got there. O, analyze the options that you have. This is one thing that we don't want to do either. When we're overcome with depression because of something bad in our life, like in the case of Lord Shiva. His case was very bad. His wife lied to him. Okay, this is the worst thing. Or even not this is lakshana for any relationship. It can be husband lying to wife. It can be brother lying to sister. It can be shishya lying to the guru, and so on. It can be any type of relationship where there's deceit involved. Lord Shiva didn't lose his cool. He stopped, he thought, and he analyzed his options. Isn't that right? What we don't want to do is analyze the way out. This is the thing. Every chance that we get into sorrow, we must understand that just like we got in there, to get out is equally possible. It might take some work, but getting out is possible. This is why youngsters these days, very sad to say, they commit suicide. Isn't that true? And I know in my country, Guyana, right? These people commit suicide, youngsters, daily. It is one of, actually, before my father passed away, he served the president of the country. And what he did was, he tried to get to the root of suicide amongst the youth. And you know what he came across, sadly? That first of all, these youngsters, when they get involved in relationships and things like that, they feel that when that ends, it is the end of their entire life. And just one moment of weakness takes them to a decision that they will definitely regret. Just one moment. And you know what he found also? That those people didn't have someone to talk to. This is the biggest thing. People, they come and they express themselves to us, but what happens sometimes, unfortunately, not you, people over there in New York. What happens? They tend to ignore. They say, I don't have time for you. I don't have any time. This is the thing. Especially when a youngster comes. And then what happens one fine day? You hear that that person took his life. This is the sad reality of the world. But what should we do? We should help anyone that we see in distress. We should say, listen, there's always tomorrow, right? There is an option for you. There is always an option, a way out. Okay? And then that's O. What about P? After you have identified the option, what do? You plan your way out. You plan. With elders, with a friend, with your parents, with whoever. Whoever you think can help you, you plan together a way out into a new life. STOP, the stop methodology never fails. And you know Lord Shiva applied this? Bahuri Rama Mayahi Sirunava. He thought how serious this problem was, and he came to the conclusion it's not that bad at all. He thought how he got in there in the first place, through the conversation that he had with Sati. Then, he analyzed his options. Bahuri Ram Mayahi Sirunava Prerehi Satihi Jehi Jutha Kava. Did he get upset? No. What was one of his options? Praying to Bhagavan. And what did he do? When he prayed, his mind became still. And then he acknowledged that it is due to Sri Rama's Maya that Sati was forced into doing this. You see? And then what is the most powerful statement he says? Hari Ichha Bhavi Balavana. He says it is due to Hari's will, Bhagavan's grace, that negative things and good things both come into our life. And we saw yesterday, if we have Ishvara Buddhi, Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, when we surrender everything to the God, to Lord, that comes into our life, when we do our best in the face of anything, that is the highest what? Prayer to Him. So Bhagavan Shankar applies these principles right away. You see? Hari Ichha Bhavi Balavana. Bhavi Balavana means the Ichha of Hari sometimes is what? So powerful that we cannot avoid it. You know there's something called Prarabdha Karma, right? That is it. Hari Ichha is Prarabdha Karma that comes from the Karma Phala Data, who is Ishvara. The total mind puts us where we have to be at the right time. You may think you're in the wrong place sometimes, isn't that true? What am I doing here? I question my whole, how did I end up in Orange County? After being so jet lagged, coming from India once, spending in New York one night, and coming here for 10 days straight. But no, Bhagavan knows exactly where you have to be at the right time. See, there's no such thing as the wrong time. There's no such thing as the wrong person in front of you. All of the things and people and places, even though sometimes we say stay away from them, they're actually modes for you to grow. I'm not saying be friends with a drug dealer. No. I'm saying if you try your best in life, this is the key. Trying your best and trying your best not to err, make the right decision, but say it doesn't end up right. That situation is meant to be for what? Your own growth and your own growth alone. You see how it works? This is what you call Hari Ichha. Ichha means the desire of Hari. It's the way He willed it. You know when Swami Puja Guruji was taking on the Chinmaya Mission role, the head of Chinmaya Mission in 1993, you know what Puja Gurudev's last words were to him? He said, you will run into tremendous problems when you go back and you take over my work, the mission in India. He was in San Jose. And then Gurudev in Washington, D.C. said, you have to go back to India now to take on my work. Isn't that true? Then you know what he said after that? He said, you will undergo tremendous hardships in this role, but understand that it is God's will that you are there, and God's will bring you out of any difficulty you are going through. Now those are the most impactful words in the life of Puja Guruji. One of the most, he'll tell you himself if he gets a chance. And this attributes to this verse here. Hari Ichha Bhavi Balavana Hirdaya Vicharat Sambhu Sujana. And as he reflected, he couldn't help but know all of this to be true in his heart. And then the next chaupai, you see? Sati Kinha Sita Karavesha. Now he reflects on the folly of Sati. Right? For those of you who are new, Lord Shiva does this. He reflects for you because he knows that you didn't come from the beginning of the talks. Right? So he said, what does he say? Sati Kinha Sita Karavesha. What is my problem? Sati took the form of Sita and tried to delude my Ram. And you have Chinmaya Rameshwaram here, right? Do you know the etymology behind that? Ramasya Ishvara iti what? Rameshwara. The Lord of Ram is who? Shiva. Ramasya Ishvara iti Shiva. Yeah? Or Rameshwara. But then flip that around, what do you get? Yasya Ishvara Rama Asti Shivaha. The Lord of Shiva is not only Ram, but the Lord of Rama is also Shiva. You see? So where Shiva is, Ram is. Where Ram is, Shiva is. And we see here that Sati Kinha Sita Karavesha. Sati took the form of Rama's wife. Now think about this. Your best friend is that person. Sati takes the form of your best friend's wife.